Some riders chase speed, others chase style. But the true legends? They chase engines that refuse to quit. From trusted commuters to continent-crossing beasts, these machines have proven they can outlast the odds. Stick around until the very end. You won't believe which motor takes the crown. Number 12. Suzuki SV 650. For riders searching for a motorcycle that feels like a trusted companion, the SV 650 has long been the machine that never lets them down. This middleweight machine has long been admired for its blend of everyday practicality and spirited character. It does not overwhelm a new rider, yet it never leaves an experienced hand bored. The heart of the SV is its proven V-twin, a power plant that has been trusted for decades to carry its rider to work during the week and then carve through winding country roads on the weekend. The SV 650 carried a 645 cubic centimeter V-twin, producing 75 horsepower and 50 pound-feet of torque. Riders praised its smooth delivery, with many reporting odometers well past 100,000 miles without major issues. One longtime owner shared how his SV carried him daily for over 15 years, never once leaving him stranded on the roadside. Dual front discs with a single rear disc, guided by anti-lock braking system control, gave steady braking confidence. Wet weight of 437 pounds and a 30.9-inch seat height kept it approachable, while its starting price of $1,909 earned strong consumer value ratings. What makes the SV stand apart is how effortlessly it adapts to its rider's life. Some owners keep theirs completely stock and rely on it as a daily commuter, while others turn it into track day tools or long-distance tourers. It is rare to find a motorcycle that can be a blank canvas yet still hold its own straight from the showroom floor. This versatility is part of the reason so many examples have crossed 100,000 miles with little more than routine care. From this dependable all-rounder, our journey shifts toward a machine built to conquer back roads and rugged trails with stubborn determination. Number 11. Kawasaki KLR 650. When the pavement ends and the unknown begins, the KLR 650 has proven itself as the motorcycle that carries riders farther than expected. The KLR 650 belongs to the second camp, earning its reputation not in showrooms, but on muddy trails, desert highways, and remote mountain passes. This single-cylinder adventurer has long been the faithful companion of riders who believe that freedom begins where the pavement ends. Powering the KLR 650 is a 651 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine delivering 40 horsepower and 33 pound-feet of torque. Owners often highlight its rugged simplicity, with many reporting trouble-free performance even after decades of mixed use. A single front disc and rear disc managed by an anti-lock braking system offered steady braking control, while a long-travel telescopic fork paired with a uni-track rear shock absorbed rough ground with ease. Wet weight stood at 461 pounds. The tall 34.3-inch seat height gave it a commanding presence, and starting prices of $6,899 kept it within reach for adventure-minded riders. One rider recalled taking his KLR across 3 states on gravel and highway without a single hiccup, proving its reputation as a true go-anywhere machine. What sets the KLR apart is its sheer stubbornness. Riders have crossed continents on little more than fuel and oil changes, with some machines surpassing 100,000 miles without ever needing major internal work. The engine is simple, rugged, and forgiving, making it possible to fix in a roadside shed just as easily as in a dealership bay. Owners often describe it as a mule, not the fastest, not the flashiest, but always willing to carry the load and keep going long after others have given up. From backwoods exploration to cross-country treks, the KLR has become a legend in its own right. After the dust and grit of the thumper's world, attention turns to a motorcycle once underestimated, yet later crowned an indestructible classic. Enjoying this ride? Hit like and drop a comment sharing your most trusted engine. Your stories fuel this channel and I want to hear yours. Number 10. Honda CX 500. Sometimes a machine mocked at its birth grows into a legend, and the CX500 is a perfect example of resilience rewarded. The CX500 was once dismissed by critics, yet decades later it stands as one of the most dependable middleweight machines ever built. Its engine placement was unusual, its styling earned it nicknames, but what endured was the motor's ability to fire up year after year without complaint, even after endless miles of hard use. At the heart of the CX500 was a 500 cubic centimeter V-twin engine producing 50 horsepower and 32 pound-feet of torque. Riders appreciated its unusual design for the era, with many praising how reliably it ran even after heavy daily use. One owner proudly shared that his CX surpassed 200,000 miles of commuting and touring, needing little more than routine maintenance along the way. A single front disc and rear drum brake with anti-lock braking system support on later versions provided steady control. A telescopic fork handled the front, while twin coilover shocks supported the rear. Wet weight measured 450 pounds, the seat height stood at 30.9 inches, and the original $2,000 price made it one of the most accessible middleweight options of its time. The secret behind the CX is its combination of liquid cooling and a shaft-driven design that demanded little from the owner. Riders discovered they could pile on 100,000 miles or more with little more than scheduled oil changes and valve checks. Over the years, the bike has become a cult favorite for builders and collectors who know that its engine will keep humming long after other machines have worn out. More than a simple commuter, it has proven itself as a tough touring companion and a reliable workhorse for everyday riding. Leaving behind Honda's resilient middleweight, the story moves toward American iron that restored faith in Harley-Davidson. Reliability isn't luck, equipment matters. Recommended accessories and rider gear are listed in the description. Number 9. Harley-Davidson Evolution. Few engines in motorcycling can claim to have saved a company, yet the Evolution did just that while restoring faith in Harley-Davidson. That was the case with the Evolution, an engine that arrived in the mid-1980s when Harley-Davidson needed it most. Riders who had grown tired of oil leaks and constant repairs suddenly found a motor that brought back pride in American iron. With its distinctive rumble and steady reliability, the Evolution quickly earned loyalty that has endured for decades. Power for the Evolution came from a 1,340 cubic centimeter V-twin engine, producing 70 horsepower and 78 pound-feet of torque. Riders valued its combination of strength and character, with many reporting mileages that stretched far beyond 100,000 without losing the signature Harley feel. Dual front discs and a single rear disc provided the stopping power, with anti-lock braking system support arriving in later models. A telescopic fork at the front worked alongside twin rear coilover shocks for a steady ride. Wet weight averaged 680 pounds, seat height measured 27.8 inches, and a $6,500 starting price placed it within reach of riders who wanted both heritage and reliability. One longtime rider recounted putting more than 150,000 miles on his Evolution without a rebuild, calling it the most trustworthy engine he had ever owned. What cemented the Evolution's legacy was not just its strength, but its character. Owners discovered that these bikes could run for 150,000 miles or more with proper care, while still delivering that signature American pulse that riders craved. The engine became a symbol of freedom for thousands of men and women who wanted a machine they could trust on open highways. From cross-country rallies to weekend rides down country roads, the Evolution reminded the world that Harley-Davidson still knew how to build a motor worth respecting. From this rebirth of American pride, we move toward a touring powerhouse that redefined comfort and long-distance endurance. Number 8. Honda Goldwing Flat 6. Long-distance touring has many pretenders, but the Goldwing remains the true king of the open highway with its unmatched endurance. The Goldwing has built its legend on endless miles of highway, delivering smooth power and unshakable confidence. When riders speak of comfort and dependability rolled into one package, This six-cylinder touring machine always commands respect. It was never about being flashy. It was about being the one machine you could trust when the road ahead stretched beyond the horizon. At its core, the Gold Wing is driven by an 1,833 cubic centimeter flat six engine, producing 125 horsepower and 125 pound-feet of torque. Riders often praised its smooth and unshakable delivery, especially on cross-country journeys where consistency matters most. A retired couple shared how their Gold Wing carried them coast to coast twice, hauling luggage and gear effortlessly while never skipping a beat. Dual front discs paired with a single rear disc, all managed by an anti-lock braking system, provided confident stopping control. A double wishbone setup at the front worked with a single rear shock for stability on long rides. Wet weight measured 867 pounds. The seat height stood at 29.3 inches, and the starting price of $1,600 placed it firmly in the premium touring category. What separates the Gold Wing from lesser machines is not just its power, but the way it delivers that power mile after mile without strain. The Flat Six runs quietly and smoothly, with minimal vibration and the kind of low-stress operation that allows owners to see odometers roll well past 200,000 miles. For couples who spend summers on the open road or veterans who log coast-to-coast journeys, the Gold Wing becomes less of a motorcycle and more of a trusted partner. When smooth luxury has had its say, the spotlight turns to raw performance in a high-revving sport bike that still endures. Number 7. Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R. High-revving sport bikes are often fragile, yet the Ninja ZX6R broke that mold by pairing raw speed with surprising longevity. The Ninja ZX6R has built its name not only on track day thrills, but also on an uncommon ability to endure years of spirited riding. For riders who crave a screaming inline-four, yet still want an engine that can stand the test of time, this motorcycle has earned its loyal following. At the core of the Ninja ZX6R was a 636 cubic centimeter inline-four engine producing 128 horsepower and 52 pound-feet of torque. Riders admired its blend of sharp performance and long-term dependability, unusual in the high-strung sport bike class. Dual front discs combined with a single rear disc, all managed through an anti-lock braking system, provided reliable braking. A fully adjustable inverted fork worked at the front while a gas-charged rear shock absorber handled the back. Wet weight came in at 430 pounds. The seat height measured 32.7 inches, and the starting price of $11,299 kept it within reach for riders chasing both speed and longevity. A young sport rider recalled pushing his Ninja ZX6R through countless track days, amazed that even after years of redline runs, the engine never faltered. What makes the Ninja ZX6R stand apart is the way it brings together reliability with high-revving excitement. Owners often ride them hard, stretching gears to redline, and still watch the odometer climb past 100,000 miles with nothing more than consistent care. It is this blend of endurance and adrenaline that sets it apart from many of its sport bike rivals, which often demand constant mechanical attention. Riders appreciate that it delivers razor-sharp handling and searing acceleration, yet retains the kind of durability normally associated with touring bikes. It represents a rare case where peak performance does not mean fragility. After exploring razor-sharp precision, we turn to brute muscle in a bike engineered more like a street brawler than a scalpel. Number 6. Yamaha V-Max V4. There are motorcycles that whisper refinement, and then there is the VMX, a machine that shouts brute force every time it fires up. The V-Max made its debut in the mid-1980s as a muscle bike that looked as aggressive as it performed. Riders quickly learned that this machine was not just about straight-line speed, but also about brute strength that could outlast years of hard use. Few engines have earned such a reputation for being both fearsome and dependable at the same time. At the center of the V-Max sat a 1,679 cubic centimeter V4 engine, producing 170 horsepower and 113 pound-feet of torque. Riders often described it as relentless, delivering muscle car levels of thrust while maintaining durability that few performance machines could match. A veteran drag racer shared how his VMX ran quarter-mile sprints weekend after weekend for over a decade, never once suffering a major failure. Dual discs up front and a single rear disc, governed by an anti-lock braking system, gave the V-Max the stopping confidence it needed. An inverted front fork combined with a single rear shock kept the ride controlled. Wet weight measured 683 pounds, seat height was 30.5 inches, and the starting price of $17,999 reflected its standing as a flagship muscle cruiser. What made the VMX unforgettable was the way it combined raw force with remarkable durability. Many owners pushed it through endless drag strip runs and highway pulls, yet found the motor stayed strong even past 150,000 miles with only routine care. The liquid-cooled V4 was overbuilt, designed not just to thrill in the moment, but to endure over decades of riding. For those who wanted the thrill of pure acceleration without the fear of mechanical fragility, the VMX became a legend. From sheer power and intimidation, history shifts toward a groundbreaking machine that reshaped the entire motorcycling landscape. Number 5. Honda CB750. The CB750 did not just join the motorcycle world, it changed it forever, setting the standard for what a superbike should be. The CB750 arrived in the late 1960s and immediately rewrote the rules of motorcycling. Riders who once settled for slower, less dependable machines suddenly had access to a smooth, powerful four-cylinder engine that could be trusted mile after mile. It was the kind of motorcycle that made ordinary riders feel like pioneers of a new era, and its influence has never faded. Powering the CB750 was a 736 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine producing 67 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque. Riders at the time praised its smooth delivery and reliability, helping it earn the title of the world's first true superbike. A single front disc and rear drum brake handled stopping duties, with later models featuring dual discs and anti-lock braking system technology. A telescopic fork paired with dual rear shocks provided steady road manners. Wet weight came in at 570 pounds. The seat height measured 31.5 inches, and the original $1,495 price tag made it a groundbreaking choice in both accessibility and engineering. A collector recalled finding a CB750 stored for decades, and with only fresh fuel and minor tuning, it roared back to life as if it had never rested. What gave the CB750 its legendary reputation was not only its performance, but also its remarkable staying power. Owners quickly discovered that the inline-4 would keep running reliably, even after 100,000 miles, provided it was treated with basic care. This balance of everyday usability and long-haul endurance turned it into a favorite for both commuters and custom builders. More than just a motorcycle, it became a foundation upon which the modern superbike category was built. Its mechanical honesty and steady strength still inspire respect in today's riders who appreciate durability above passing trends. Once the superbike era was born, the stage opened for a German workhorse trusted to carry riders farther than they ever imagined. Number 4. BMW Boxer R1200. Touring riders demanded balance, durability, and innovation, and the R1200 delivered with German precision, built for the long haul. The R1200 became the benchmark for riders who wanted long-distance comfort with bulletproof engineering. Its horizontally opposed cylinders gave it a unique silhouette and a reputation for balance that has carried travelers across continents. For seasoned riders, it represents a machine that is as steady in spirit as it is in mechanical execution. At the core of the R1200 was an 1170 cubic centimeter flat twin engine, producing 110 horsepower and 85 pound-feet of torque. Long-distance riders consistently praised its balance and reliability, with many reporting mileages far beyond 200,000. One cross-country traveler recounted circling the United States twice on his R1200, claiming it was the only bike he trusted to handle every mile without hesitation. Dual front discs and a single rear disc managed by an anti-lock braking system provided consistent braking performance. A telelever design at the front combined with a paralever setup at the rear kept the ride stable under load. Wet weight measured 529 pounds, the seat height stood at 31.1 inches, and the $15,600 starting price confirmed its place as a premium but trusted touring investment. What secured the R1200's reputation was its ability to pile on mileage without complaint. Owners often speak of these machines crossing 200,000 miles with little more than oil changes and valve adjustments. The flat twin's low center of gravity keeps it planted in crosswinds, while the shaft drive reduces the burden of regular maintenance. Adventure tourers in particular have come to rely on it, knowing that its endurance matches their own spirit of exploration. More than just a motorcycle, it is a trusted companion for those who find peace on highways that stretch from horizon to horizon. Having seen European refinement at its best, we return to Japanese grit with a single-cylinder legend built for the roughest terrain. Number 3. Suzuki DR 650. Adventure riders who measure journeys in continents rather than counties trust the Dr. 650 to take them where few bikes dare to go. The Dr. 650 is proof of that truth, standing as one of the most rugged and enduring single-cylinder motorcycles ever built. For decades, it has carried riders through deserts, jungles, and city streets with the same stubborn determination. It does not boast fancy electronics or high-end luxury features, but it has something far more valuable: a reputation for unshakable reliability when the road disappears. At the heart of the Dr. 650 was a 644 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine producing 46 horsepower and 40 pound-feet of torque. Riders valued its simplicity and toughness, often pointing out how it could be repaired easily even in remote areas. An adventurer described riding his Doctor across South America, fixing minor issues with basic tools, and finishing the journey without a single breakdown that stopped his progress. A single front disc and single rear disc handled braking duties, with anti-lock braking system support appearing on later models. A telescopic fork in the front paired with a single rear shock delivered predictable handling. Wet weight stood at 366 pounds. The seat height measured 34.8 inches, and the starting price of $6,999 made it one of the most approachable adventure machines available. What truly defines the Dr. 650 is its reputation as a motorcycle that can be repaired anywhere. With a basic toolkit and a little determination, riders in remote villages have kept these machines running, sometimes with parts that were never intended for motorcycles at all. Owners proudly share stories of odometers rolling past 100,000 miles while the single thumper keeps pounding away. Its air-cooled design, straightforward carburation, and no-nonsense layout mean fewer things to fail and fewer worries on long journeys. The Dr. 650 is not a showpiece. It is a workhorse for those who measure adventure in distance rather than polish. After proving toughness in the wilderness, it is time to look toward a modern American V-twin that carried Harley into a new century. Number 2. Harley-Davidson Twin Cam. The Twin Cam arrived as a powerhouse for a new century, combining classic Harley thunder with stronger internals built to last. The Twin Cam was the answer, a motor that balanced heritage with modern strength. Riders who swung a leg over bikes powered by this engine found not just the familiar sound and feel they expected, but also a new level of durability that made it a cornerstone of Harley's lineup for nearly 2 decades. At the center of the Twin Cam line was an engine ranging from 1,450 to 1,688 cubic centimeters, producing between 63 and 90 horsepower with as much as 109 pound-feet of torque. Riders respected its strong pull across the rev range, and the way it delivered the classic Harley character while improving long-term durability. Dual front discs and a single rear disc provided dependable braking, with anti-lock braking system technology added on later versions. Most models used a telescopic front fork along with coil-over rear shocks to maintain a steady ride. Wet weight averaged about 750 pounds. Seat heights typically measured between 27 and 29 inches, and a starting price of $12,995 placed it solidly in the heavyweight touring and cruiser category. A seasoned road captain shared how his club relied on twin cam bikes for coast-to-coast rides, praising their ability to haul hard for days without complaint. What gave the twin cam its place in motorcycling history was not just its size, but its staying power. Riders have crossed the country again and again on these motors, reporting mileages well into the hundreds of thousands with only regular maintenance. The engine offered the thunderous torque that Harley riders demanded, while proving to be stronger and more reliable than its predecessors. For many, it became the very definition of what a big V-twin should be: muscular, enduring, and full of character. With that powerhouse setting the stage, the countdown reaches its pinnacle, a simple, air-cooled survivor that has become nearly impossible to kill. You've stayed with us this far. Don't stop now. Subscribe today for more engines, more stories, and more reasons to keep your ride alive. Number 1. Honda XR650L. In a world of complex technology and fragile machines, the XR650L stands tall as the simplest, toughest survivor still rolling strong. The XR650L falls firmly into the second camp, earning its reputation as one of the toughest machines ever to leave a factory floor. Riders who value resilience above refinement have long turned to this thumper, confident that it will run day after day in conditions that send other bikes to the scrapyard. From the desert sands to mountain trails, it has proven itself to be a true survivor. Powering the XR650L was a 644 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine producing 40 horsepower and 47 pound-feet of torque. Riders often praised its air-cooled toughness, noting how it could endure extreme miles with little more than routine maintenance. A desert explorer recalled clocking weeks in harsh heat on his XR, saying it never once overheated or left him stranded, even under brutal conditions. A single disc up front and a single disc at the rear handled braking duties, with no anti-lock braking system included, keeping it purely mechanical. A long-travel telescopic fork worked in the front, while a Pro-Link single shock managed the rear. Wet weight measured 346 pounds. The seat height stood tall at 37 inches, and the starting price of $6,999 made it one of the most affordable machines known for near-indestructible durability. What makes the XR650L remarkable is not fancy technology or luxury features, but its refusal to quit. Owners have crossed continents with little more than spare tubes, a wrench roll, and fresh oil. Stories of machines surpassing 100,000 miles are common, with the air-cooled single thumping along as steadily as the day it was new. Its simplicity allows it to be fixed in remote towns with minimal tools, a feature treasured by world travelers and adventurers. Every engine on this list has proven it can go the distance, but the real journey continues with you. Keep this channel rolling by subscribing today. Like, share, and pass it along to riders who demand reliability. Stay tuned. We've got more machines, more stories, and more reasons to keep your throttle wide open.